This phone came out on March 27th and now it's July. And I recently bought it, but that was on purpose. Every tech channel had this phone in March, day one, unboxing, reviewing it, and I still waited about 4 months. I've been a Pixel, Samsung, and iPhone user for years, and this is my first nothing phone. So I didn't want to do what everyone else did. This is the unboxing video, and also 4 reasons as to why sometimes it's good to wait before buying a phone day one. So this is a Nothing 4A Pro Black, 256 gigs. And I bought this at $540. And the reason that matters is because at launch, it actually launched at $599. So same box, same everything, but 4 months later, the price moved and it's cheaper. So that's one of the reasons that I waited. And phones don't hold the same launch price, especially not mid-ranges or flagships. The price always goes down. Now let's look at what's in the box. Right now they just have a quote, it seems like here. Oh, and it comes with a case, so this is pretty nice. Again, a lot of the main flagship phones, they don't include the cases anymore with it, but this one has the case, SIM extraction with the cables. I like the case texture. I wish more phones did this. Now looking at the cable here with for the phone, one thing I did see with the Nothing 4A Pro is that there's no wireless charging, which is a bummer. Not having the wireless charging, again, that's one of the trade-offs when you're buying a mid-range phone. But again, just taking this out the box, this is the actual phone now. Here, take a look at it. It feels like a premium phone though. Holding it in the hands feels like a premium phone. And again, no wireless charging, but it does allow for 50 watts wired charging, but you have to buy the brick separately. So we'll turn on the phone. I'll be right back so that we can go through the phone together. So I was finally able to set up the phone, and it brings me to my second reason for holding out is the software matured, because of course this is on Nothing OS, and this shipped with Nothing OS 4.1 on Android 16. But I'll talk about the camera later, but you can see now I'm actually updating it right now, and there's a couple of updates that's required for it. There's a couple of updates that's needed for it, and out the box it wasn't really optimized. Again, a lot of times when you get a phone, it doesn't ship with the correct updates from what they showcase in the keynotes. So I'll go ahead and update this and I'll be right back so that we can go through the software. Alright, I'm back. So now the phone has been updated. So let's go through the software. Looking at this, I did turn on my always on display. So this one has a good always on display. The thing I don't like about this one though is that compared to my other phones, I'm not able to customize as much as I would like. Looking at this is the fingerprint. The fingerprint sensor is really fast. This is one of the things really nice and fast. And then I like the glyph icon in the back. This is where the glyph indicator is housed. As opposed to, of course, this is a mid-range phone, so it doesn't have the glyph icon where with the older phones that I saw where the whole back shows the glyph. It's only housed here. And it'll show the time if I change the volume. Actually, let me unlock it. If I turn the volume up, it'll fill out. If I turn the volume down, it'll condense. So going into the settings, let's first look at the glyph interface. So the glyph interface, these are all the options there. When you turn on the notifications, the volume indicator, which was the one I was just testing out. And it looks like it'll even show, it looks to be integrated with third-party icons as well. Glyph progress. So it's like live notifications, but with the glyph. So this is pretty nice. I like how they've integrated this with the phone. And their essential notifications. So all this you can check out in the back. So let's go through the lock screen and see if we can customize it a little bit. So you can add quick text to the lock screen, quick look to see your weather and schedule, tap the screen. So this is the standard lock screen items. Again, I kind of customize mine, but again, there's not a lot of option. If I hold on the screen, it'll give you the option to customize, but there's not really a lot. So once I'm in there, I gotta unlock it. So this is what they allow you to customize with the clock face. It's not a lot of clock faces, only just a few. You can make it smaller or expand it, centralize it, put it to the left, or this is what I was. So these are the clock ones. This looks decent. Again, not a lot to customize. Again, I love customizing phones. So if a phone doesn't offer me a lot of customization, I'm really not a fan of it. This is why I love Samsung, because they offer one of the most customizations. I have always on display on, of course, and this is where you access it. So I have it set to always. You can always schedule it. To customize it, the only thing you can really do is change the colors, and then icon pack, you only have default. And nothing. The thing I like though is you can add from the App Store. They do allow you. Pixel needs to add this. Now, of course, you can always add a launcher to add in different icons, but I wish you could do that, and also making it easier on iPhones. So I like that they give you at least the option of going to the App Store to put in your own icon apps. There are special features. One of the things I did see with the Nothing OS is that they do have the pop-up view, and I was testing this one out. So for setting, it doesn't work, but let's say I go to my X account, so scrolling up, you can drop it into a pop-up. So this is nice. I like that option. You can expand or minimize, and then you can minimize it and it'll go to the right corner. So I like this because, again, that's more multitasking. You can do this with Instagram, put it in a pop-up, drag and release, and I can move it around the screen. I can also expand this and then minimize it, allow. And what it looks like from testing it, you can only have 2 minimize at the same time. Let's see if I can open up a third. Yeah, so I can open up a third. Let me see if I can open up a fourth. No, so then it replaces. So you can have max of 3 and only 2 minimize at the same time, because if I minimize this one, it takes out 1. So I hope at least you can do the pop-up view. I only wish that you could open up more than just 3 and then have it only 2 minimized. Nothing also offers their own AI, so their intelligence toolkit, but this I would have to try out in my full review, if I do a review, to actually test these out to see how it works. I do want to move to the third reason why I waited on this in regards to the camera. Now again, I was able to look at the reviews, because out the box, Nothing claimed that the camera had 140 times zoom. I did go ahead and update the phone, so let's see if that improved, because I did take a couple of photos before I actually updated it, and the photos did not come out great. So if you look at gallery, this was a couple of photos that I took. So this one was at 24 zoom, and you can't really see it on the camera, but the photo quality is not great with the zoom. And this one was at 60 zoom, and this is at 140, and this one looks really AI generated. But so I'm going to try to take it again with the update and see if it made any improvements. Now, actual standard photos actually looks great. So I'm just taking a standard portrait photo. Like, the portrait photos look nice. It does use AI, computational photography, to improve the photo, and it looks really good. So the photo quality is decent if it's not the 140 times zoom from what I'm seeing so far. So I'll go ahead and take a couple of photos and zoom and see how it turns out. Alright, so I did take a couple of pictures now. This is after they've optimized it. This is at 140 zoom. And this actually looks worse than the one that I took before I updated the phone, which is kind of crazy. This is at 57 zoom, and this looks a little bit better than the previous one that I took, and this one is at 22 zoom, which looks decent. So what they sold with the camera before selling it, when they were marketing it, is not what you're getting out the box. Again, that's one reason. Second reason is that you're able to have time to see the reviews and see, okay, what are you getting out the box? Because by July, it's not a promise anymore. It's been tested for 4 months. And really the consensus and what I'm testing, at least for right now, is that the cameras are really not the strongest point, especially with the zoom. However, the hardware is actually solid for the price. Again, this is a 15 megapixel camera with a real periscope telephoto, and it does have a triple camera setup at the back. So for a $550 phone and you can get it at a lower price, it's decent, but not the best. And definitely not what they were selling with 140 times zoom out the box. And with the optical zoom on this phone, it's 3.5 times, and everything past that is digital, which means they're using AI to upscale and fill out what the sensor never captured. So it's probably why it's looking really grainy when taking photos. So, but again, overall, the phone is pretty nice. Again, it's very pixel-like. Would I get this phone for mid-range? Now, it depends on your use case. If you're for a mid-range phone, this looks like it's pretty solid. It's fast, snappy, and it's really similar to a Pixel. My preference would be, of course, the Samsung because of the customized more, but overall it looks like a decent phone. But the multitasking falls short. I'm not able to customize, but as far as if you just need a phone for general use, I think there are a lot of mid-ranges that would compare. And this is why reason number 4, reason why you're able to wait out on this is because, again, I was able to hold the phone. Like in March with the Nothing phone, you cannot get this, really hold it like I can with the other ones before buying them. Again, the 4B is coming out for this one, and it's coming out in the US, but I can only order it from the website. I can't actually go to Best Buy to get a feel for it until it comes out. For my first time holding a Nothing phone, I'm not really impressed. I like the first one. I should have tried out the first generations that came out where the whole back had the glyph indicators in the back. But again, 4 months, I got it for a couple of dollars, for $60 less, because 4 months later, like, someone else was able to test 140 zoom. I didn't have to. 4 months into it, the bugs that were in the initial release became more stable, and now I was able to hold it and test it out. So with this one, I didn't come away super impressed like I usually do with like the Razr that I tested. This one seems like a very okay phone, and for a mid-range, there are probably other ones that I would probably suggest other than this one. So overall, it's a decent phone. Again, it feels like a Pixel-like experience, but nothing really blows me away with this one. And I'm judging it based on a mid-range phone, but really not blown away by it. So if this was useful, subscribe. I do honest phone stuff for regular people, no hype, no fluff, and see you in the next one.